Welcome back. In this video, we'll be recapping a few of the topics that we've covered in the last two videos. If you've been following along, I'm sure you recognize this page below, which we made in the overview sections. In this video, we will strip back some of the contents and then implement some of the elements that we've learnt about in the recent Free Code Camp sessions. First, I'm going to get rid of this JavaScript section that we have here. This JavaScript section is currently changing the header to be the current time, so I'll just get rid of that and make sure I save this file. And now when I refresh, we will see the original header that we have here displayed below. Next up, I'll just get rid of the CSS just to keep this document nice and simple for now. And when I refresh here, now it's back to the browser's default styling. So let's just go over this and see what we have. So on line 1, we are telling the browser that this is going to be an HTML5 document. Then we have the open and closing tags of the HTML document. Here we have the head section where we can add elements like this title. The title determines what is shown in the tab. Then we have the body content, which displays the contents that we see in the page over here. All right, and next up we have a header 1. We saw this, we've covered this in the Free Code Camp content, where header 1 is the most important header on a page. There should actually only be one of these. Each page should have one primary header, and then you can have multiple header 2s, which is known as level 2 headers or level 3 headers. So you get H1, H2, all the way to H6. And then we have a few paragraphs here. Each sentence here is just wrapped in a paragraph tag. And that is actually what causes these gaps to appear here. It has nothing to do with how many enters or new line characters that we introduce into the document. If I refresh now, it stays exactly the same. Once again, HTML ignores these sort of white space characters or new line characters. One of the topics we covered in the Free Code Camp material was the anchor tag, which provides a link to other pages. And let's provide a link to some documentation about HTML. So if I just come down here and I type mdn HTML, here we go. So this is the Mozilla Developer Network, and they've got excellent documentation, so we can reference this page from our page. I'll just copy this URL, and then over here is where we want to introduce our link. So what we need here is an anchor tag. So I will create an anchor tag, and the editor sticks in the closing tag for me. Inside here is where I want the content, so HTML, and I can remove it from here. And now what I want is the Href attribute to tell the browser where do I want the user to go when they click on this link. So Href equals double quotes and inside the URL where I want the user to go to. We are also going to add the target with underscore blank, and that's to make the link open in a new tab. So now if I refresh here, we can see that is now a link, and if I click that, we go to a new tab to this page that we were aiming for. And let's see if they have a CSS page as well. Yep. So we can do a similar thing with this, with the CSS here. So if I say, make an anchor tag, CSS is the content, and similarly here we want an href equal to the URL we just copied, and we want target equals blank, underscore blank. There we go. Let's do a quick test here, why not? The CSS page now opens us into the page the external page we were aiming for. I'm not sure if this will probably be JavaScript, I guess. There you go. Let's do the same thing again. The order of target in Href doesn't really matter. We'll just be consistent. Copy this. And here we go. Target equals underscore blank. And let's check. Let's do a little test on that link. Yep, it is working as expected. Another topic which we recently covered was the use of images, so we can add an image to our document. I'm going to use Unsplash, which is a great resource of images that you can use on your page. And let's just search for code. And we can use these images here. Yeah, this one is nice and simple. Let's just go for this one. I'm going to download this image. And a little shout out to Arnold for providing us with this image, and I will reference him in the description below. So I'm going to show this in Finder. And here we have the image. And on the Mac, you can drag an image straight into VS Code and it will make a copy. So now we have that image, which is, let's just go to, so that should be in the same folder that we're in. Yep, here it is, and I can rename it either in VS Code or here. Let's just rename this to laptop. There we go, and you can see a change there, so it is the same image. And now let's use that image in our site. So I'm going to use the img tag, and VS Code expands that for me, and it wants the source and the alt text. So let's begin with the alt text. The alt text is used by screen readers for people who are visually impaired, and providing a good alt text is what makes your site more accessible to everyone. So I would say that this is a laptop with code on the screen. Something along those lines. And now the source, what we want to do is reference this JPEG that is in the same folder as our index.html. So to do that, we can simply say dot, which represents the folder where this file is, and then /. You can see VS Code is suggesting the options to me, and one of them is the laptop.jpg. So if I save this now and refresh, there we go, we see this picture below, which is a giant, it's a really big image for now. We'll have to see how to make this smaller as we go. Well, we could, since we have done a tiny bit of CSS, we can use a bit of CSS to shrink this image a bit. So we'll once again introduce some CSS into the head section using the style tag. And then I'm going to select the image tag by using the selector of img. And let's give it a width of say, let's just say 400 pixels for now. Save that, refresh here, and there we go. Not too shabby. Let's turn this image into a link, and we can just point to the HTML document that this link is referring to. So to do that, we simply need to nest this image tag within an anchor tag. So if I come here, open the anchor tag, move the closing tag to after the image element. There we go. And inside here, I want to go to the same location as this link is going to. Well, I can actually copy the entire link. Here we go. So it's exactly the same, just instead of the contents being HTML, the contents is an image element. Oh, took a bit too much there. And it made a bit of a mess because the closing tag is now here. We need to get rid of that. There we go. That looks better. So we have the opening anchor tag, the image element as the content of this, and then the closing anchor tag. Now, if I refresh this, it looks the same, but when I hover over it, you can see the mouse cursor changes to the little pointer, the hand, and if I click that, we open this document here. These were some of the key concepts which we covered in the recent videos, including a bit of CSS, which we touched on in the CSS overview video. There we go. In the next video, we'll most likely head back to FreeCodeCamp and complete a few more of their exercises. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.